This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sebastian Johnson.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast Live. Are you looking for one of the most unique things to do in Philadelphia, where history, comedy, and magic all come together? Well, one might be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Rob Malissa, founder, operator at Philly Magic Tours. How's it going, Rob?
Doing well. Thank you, Sebastian. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Of course. We're excited to learn all about you and your business. Rob, please tell us about what you do.
All right. So I'm now I think the only weekly walking magic show in America at this point. The show is basically a walk through Old City, Philadelphia, and I go to all the historic spots, and each spot inspires a magic trick. So when I go to Ben Franklin's house, I produce a bottle and I have a penny, and I talk about a penny saved is a penny earned. And then I slam the penny through the sidewall of the bottle, and it jiggles around inside, and I pass that out. So that's the kind of blend of what I do.
Hey, look at that. That's wonderful. How'd you get into this industry?
Well, I've been a magician since I'm age 10.
Wow.
And on the road to retirement, I was looking for, my next adventure. And I figured, okay, this is something I could do that I would really enjoy. And it was inspired by something called the Bizarre Bath Walk, which was in Bath, England. And I had the good fortune to go on that tour with my family. And I mentioned to the fellow there, Noel Britton, if he wouldn't mind me trying this in Philadelphia. And he said, many have tried, few have succeeded, but go ahead and give it a go. So I actually spent about 2 years knocking around with this idea of planning and looking at the various sites and what would inspire a magic tour and have the right density of locations. And eventually I saw him again at a convention, and I cornered him. He was super gracious. He gave me all sorts of pointers now that I had real knowledge in my head, and that helped. And then, I've been doing it. I'm going into my 5th year now.
Hey, look at that. Well, what would you say like some of the myths or misconceptions of magic are?
Oh, well, I look at magic, people, I've been doing it a long time, so people come at it from all different situations. And my whole view of it is just that it's there to entertain you. That's the whole reason. And for me, it's a sharing of joy. That's what I try and communicate. And what's interesting is some people and some performers, some young, when you're young and you're exposed to magic, often it can be presented and perceived as a challenge. I know something you don't know, and it's confrontational. And rather than sharing joy, it puts people on their back foot because they're like, I know something you don't know. It's a challenge, right? And it takes away the joy and it becomes a confrontation. So magic can have that connotation for some people if that's what their experience has been. And that to me is a misconception of what magic is. Some people have that exposure, but in reality, magic, when it's done right and performed with the right reasons, is one of the more joyous things you can experience.
I like the way you put that. Well, we know like marketing is the heart of every business, right? So in Philly Magic Tours, who exactly is your target audience and how do you attract them?
So the target audience is anybody, I would say, well, actually, the range is 13 to 99, that kind of thing. But as far as folks that I try and get, there's really a split demographic. There's the sort of the Facebook folks, I would say, that are 50 and above, that watch Facebook. And so I do a lot of marketing on Facebook. And then there's the Instagram crowd, which is a little lower, and then TikTok as well. So those are the segments of 20s and 30s and the 30s and 40s. So right now I haven't really pushed myself on TikTok, but I'm pretty heavy on Instagram and Facebook. And of course, there's the Good Neighborhood podcast to just get everybody.
There you go, everybody. Have you thought of ever doing your own podcast, Rob?
No, I enjoy being on them more than doing the work.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, when you're not so busy outside of work with Philly Magic Tours, and I know you do your own tours throughout, I guess, the world. You're going to the UK this summer. What do you do for fun?
Well, the UK thing is the stage show that I do.
Right.
So do you want me to talk about that or not?
Please. Yeah, please.
Okay.
I know you wanted to a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, aside from doing the walking tour, I love magic. So I present it in several forms. I do close-up walk around, or at least I did 7 years at a restaurant. And then at one point I decided I would love to do a stage show. And I decided to do that starting in 2018 with the Philadelphia Fringe Festival. That went pretty well. So then I took it to the New York Fringe Festival, and that went well. And then I was able to headline at the Smoke and Mirrors Magic Theater, which is now on the Lens side. I'll be back there again. And so I decided, all right, let's take this to the granddaddy of them all, which is the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So this year I'm doing 2 send-off shows at the Arden and 1 at Smoke and Mirrors. And then we're headed to Scotland, and I'm going to do 11-night run at the Fringe Festival over there.
Oh, incredible. That's going to be so much fun.
I am so looking forward to it. In fact, the crazy part about it was I was there sort of busking and doing street magic in June, I hate to tell you, of 1983.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Holy
people
cow.
said, what are you doing here in June? Actually, there's somebody at the door. I'm just going to let that go, but you might hear a doorbell. So busking and people said, what are you doing here in June? You should come back for the Fringe in August. So I didn't know what a Fringe was. And they told me, that's this crazy thing. They have 3,500 performers doing the Fringe in that month. So it was insane, but it went right to my heart. And I knew someday I'd go back to do it. And since 2018, it's sort of been on my radar, since 1983, it's been on my radar. And finally, slowly, the ship turned in that direction, and I'm doing it. So I'm very excited.
You're checking the box off, right?
Yeah, checking the box off.
Heck yeah. Well, I'd love to hear it. Well, Rob, please tell our listeners one thing they should remember about Philly Magic Tours.
Well, I call it a love fest. The name of the tour is the Great Philadelphia Comedy Magic Walking Tour. So people don't know what that is, but it has all the words that kind of tell them they're going to have a fun time. So people that come on the tour are predisposed to just having a nice walk and enjoying themselves in Philadelphia. And I'm there to give them that. So I love presenting magic. And like I said, sharing joy is what my intention is. And also sharing the history of Philadelphia and a city that I grew up in and love. And that comes through. And I think that people on that tour, they don't know what they're getting, but they know it's going to be fun, and they're ready to get the fun. So when I come with my full, here it is, boy, it's a love fest. I love giving it to them, and they seem to love the experience. And it's different. I mean, I call it the world's first musical card trick. I sing a parody of Les Mis. Do you hear the people sing? While I give out 3 cards and reveal 3 cards, and I'm a little wacky, and that comes off, and it's just a fun time.
Heck yeah, who's better than you? Well, and also now tell our listeners where they can find you and where they can learn more about your business.
All right, so I have a little poem. Call your friends, call your mom, go to phillymagictours.com, and you'll find me.
All right.
And, yeah, our info at Philly Magic Tours, or my phone number if you want that, 267-566-8897.
Beautiful. Well, Rob, I really appreciate you being on the show. We wish you and your business the best moving forward.
Thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpcentercity.com. That's gnpcentercity.com or call 215-305-8543.